Oh.
But I just enjoyed Vision in a prison.
Blank
that's
is
nice.
A national treasure, to be sure. That is one thing that's for certain. He's bringing the chips to the party. He's making it happen. He's serving it up fresh and hot. Southside Plain, Max, for our second air goal of the day. Lipovka down to Primorsk.
A bit more southern than what you would normally expect from these, but that's okay. Teams will be able to adapt on the fly, no problem whatsoever. Our Vision going to go back to prison. I do wonder how that's going to be potentially working out. But yeah, so far nothing really out of the ordinary. But clearly we have witnessed that throughout the start of the day, John, Turkey has brought the heat. All the players has been looking good. And as they mentioned on the desk, right? No, the Mini 14, a weapon that seems to be way more relevant, weirdly, compared to PMWI, which is something that I didn't expect, but we do know that the MEA teams do enjoy their good old Mini 14.
It's also a little hint at maybe things to come as well, Max, because obviously with the DBS nerf, being rolled out fairly soon into the next competitive cycle, it's very likely that we're going to see that weapon replaced in a lot of teams' arsenals. The Mini 14, a prime candidate, I believe, in a lot of players' minds. I mean, you've got the SLR in there, the SKS, maybe a little bit less, but yeah, you absolutely are going to be finding a lot of Mini 14s and a lot of DMR play in general, wherever you can. Maybe still taking one, maybe two DBSs into the late game, but even then, likely you'll see more of those DMRs.
That's the thing, we really have to say, despite the fact that DBS is getting a nerf, it is not a nerf that's going to render it useless, right? It's just, it does a little bit less damage at a range, and you also take less damage if you have a vest, and the high level vest you have, or helmet, you'll take less damage. So it's still a one-shot if you're close, so don't get too close to a DBS player, you're still going to get hurt pretty significantly.
Ow.
But it does pack a punch. It does hurt quite a bit, but
a little bit of an adjustment here. Taking a look at the map from GK, they're playing over towards apartments and school as opposed to going straight into Rozhok itself. Circle southeast.
I do enjoy that transition a lot, actually. It's just not worth taking a fight. I mean, that's at least a faster transition from what we saw back in PMWI, fighting D plus Kia, right? They just kept taking a fight, not really willing to make a change. The cool thing about having 3 wrangles in a row, you can quickly make a change, be on your feet, and make an iteration, which they have done. Good for them, as you stated, John. School, apartment, which is a way more valid option. Doesn't change the rotation path. And you're just not dying early, which, good.
Oh.
Good stuff.
That's what I've heard.
Yes.
Maybe I should try and implement that in my games.
I tried, it didn't work out.
No, me neither.
The bots keep getting me. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. I just don't like hurting the other players, you know. I'm such a nice guy.
He's doing a pacifist run off PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, that's me.
What does that look like? Oh, he's putting flowers.
Oh, you're supposed to have 4 wheels on that one. There we go. Sets it down. Excuse me. Going to be moving a little bit further north up towards South Georgia. Come on.
I think I drive better than that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Actually, maybe not.
Either way, excuse me, going to be heading up to South George, which is interesting as a decision to make, given where the circle is. I mean, you're going to have plenty of time to loot, to be fair, nonetheless. The western side of the circle on that mainland might be a little bit more busy, maybe, shall we say, than it would be otherwise, but yeah, should be okay.
I don't have an issue with that. I mean, you know now as a fact that Gladiators don't go for Northern George. It seems like Primorsk is going to be their drop of preference going into this, especially with the Southern Plain Path. So no teams are going to be between you and Southern George. So yeah, I'm okay with, excuse me, doing this. It's just going to delay their looting phase and phase 1 rotation just a tad. But it shouldn't really hinder them in the long run. Though looking at this circle, we did see it go on the more southern eastern edge of the map. We're not really expecting a Sovnovka finish here, so teams like RTG, Gangsters should be trying to leave that position. But here, Falcons, actually doing relatively good to kick off the tournament compared to PMWI, which I am impressed by. The only team from Africa, actually, from MEA here. And so far, nice split, central position. If they regroup, if the circle's on top of them once again, Falcons could be once more having a strong result 3 games in a row.
Would be good to see. They're not right towards the top on the overalls right now, but they are consistently sort of appearing in these games and making themselves known. Not quite as much as Fireflux, who are sitting pretty clear at the top right now, but still, it's only 2 matches in, right? And they were talking about before how it's too early to say things like, oh, Coops is Matic, but good.
Still can't believe they said that.
Right? It's a little bit out of pocket, I thought. But the second match, Coops was still the last guy standing. He's doing a lot of work, although that wasn't necessarily because of the angle. It's more just his teammates got taken down. You can see the overalls on the right-hand side of your screen right now. 2 Turkish teams sat at the top, with next Riyadh all the way down towards the bottom. So that's the 3rd Turkish entry there. A good start for the region. We claim them as EU, which means that our region's doing best, Max.
We're winning.
That's right.
Look at that.
Excellent.
We're so good.
We personally are so good.
Exactly, John. We carry the region on our backs.
Oh dear.
Absolute gods of PUBG Mobile. I mean, Mogi is mobile. Okay, whatever.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You had a nightmare there.
Oh. But next we're also going to be trying to be on the move. I mean, so far a circle like this, teams are very slow on the rotate. Teams like Gamers8, Gladiators, excuse me, Brute Force have yet to initiate their rotations, but I feel like that's fine, especially after that first wrangle, that first feeler game, should I say. Teams are trying to already understand how things are going to go, and it is relatively slow. We see this playstyle in PMWI being so dominant, which is play passive early, start popping off late game. It seems like some teams still want to pop off in the early stage here. It's going to be GQ taking the fight with this Enigma Galaxy. It's actually Lord taking the fight, and Toff is on the roof. Could be in a great overview position.
Drops down to that overhang, but Evo goes down to the PPB zone, Max.
The infamous.
That's what you want to see. As a good start for Enigma Galaxy on the roll-up. Evo Station still down and crawling. Toffees with nades on the top floor. Spotted. Lord cooking one now in the back pocket, but a reposition from Toffees again keeps him heads up in through the window. They're forcing the angle. Enigma Galaxy playing this one well. You can see a split not going to plan for Team GQ. They are losing 2 in the middle of their split, and they are cleft in twain.
It was not even that bad from Toffees. He was trying to slow down the fight because he knew his 2 teammates were trying to come in as backup. And if he was able to survive, I'm sure they would have tried to get 2 angles, but AC and Corker were just not quick enough on the swivel. So that's 2 players taken up. GQ going back in another compound in the center. It's unfortunate because that's such a great drop here for this type of circle, John, and I expected them to try and regroup, avoid fights as much as possible, but Enigma Galaxy were already out for blood. So teams already made their move into the center. RTG crossed the bridge. Brignum Karia have left the northern shelter position, and they started to center up. So you got already 4 teams in pretty much key locations of this phase 1, and if the circle keeps heading their way, we already have teams that I feel like could very easily make it to a top 5, if not a podium finish here.
That's a very early call. I like it. I like it. You're being bold today,
and you have so
Max.
much water. It should shift north, and you could somewhat read that there's a chance it could end.
Bridge finish.
No.
That's what I want.
I don't want that.
I do. It's okay. I've only said it, and you're so miffed already.
I don't like
Oh, my goodness me. Oh, I don't want it to finish on the bridge. Well, the next circle is going to pop any second now. On the western side, Gamers8 very close to the Gladiators' position. The shift goes out quite far east.
I can already hear Kalaris. Oh, give me a mini melter finish. Oh, yeah.
Does he like Mini Milter? Is that his favorite finish?
He really likes it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not going to do the laugh because I'm going to completely ruin it, but... oh, that's actually decent.
I thought so.
But it's
been
not...
practicing.
You don't feel the 6 month of work behind it.
No, there's a lot more acid in his. You know?
Kind of like Corpse Husband kind, yeah.
No, I was thinking more like...
Why acid?
Brewed in the sewers.
That's where he's born.
That's true. That's where
he comes from.
He is a gremlin. An agent of chaos.
That is Kalaris. That's what he does. That's why my desk is so dirty. They still haven't cleaned it. I can't believe it, Kalaris.
Oh, dear.
Get
Corker.
that desk cleaned.
Okay, let's refocus. Corker just went down here on the southeast side. Regnum Kaya, you said they were in a prime position, Max. They are still holding it out with Loxy on a wide split.
They actually instantly regrouped. On the phase pop, they just went from where currently Enigma Galaxy stand, they went to the east of their location because, as we see pretty often from Regnum Kaya, they have splits in the center, and when the circle pops later on down the line, they just regroup in the best POI at that exact moment. So that's the strat that's worked out great in that previous game, clearly in that field finish. And we'll see if it's going to work out once again, because currently Lumberyard is going to be in play. A lot of teams trying to send it up on the hilltops, such as Vision. You're looking at also GK Esports trying to get a piece of that pie. But teams slow on the rotate still, like Gangsters do make the cross. No gatekeeping, which is great for them. They make it in pretty much for free, but Milter is going to be the next step. And right now you've got Falcons, RTG on the outer skirts, Enigma Galaxy north of farm. So even if you try and dodge it, you might be in danger. So Gangsters, the slow rotates hurt them, and I feel like this is going to be their toughest game yet to make that rotation actually work out.
They talked a lot on the desk about the defensive, more passive play style coming through from the MEA region, and with so many teams already central, that is what we're going to be looking at here, Max. So you're talking about how the Gangsters are behind. There is a brick wall in front of them that they're going to have to try and smash through should they want success here on match number 3. Still early days on the run of this tournament. They spoke how it was a sprint tournament. This is sort of the longest sprint tournament that you can have as a 24-match set. But still, you do need to be getting every single point's worth out of your games.
Because pretty much, at least in the past year, right, in PUBG Mobile Esports Championships or PMRCs used to be 3-day events. And I feel like that extra day is so important for teams to adapt, especially for teams making it in a LAN event, right? I mean, they mentioned it on the desk on the pre-show, the fact that a lot of these teams and players, this is their very first time playing outside of their homes and actually playing with people that they've just met for the first time, such as Nexus, for example. Big hardship though, John, going to the western edge. That road is going to be a nice little split. And then looking at positions like Next Riyadh and GK, those two compounds are golden if the circle still aims their way.
And the Gladiators, they're alive in this, which is good.
You seem surprised.
I mean, they have only managed to find those 6-point games, albeit with some, I would say, unfortunate circumstances. The fight a little bit messy in that last game, but still not entirely unreasonable, I would say. It wasn't off the back of purely poor decision-making. A roll-up for Tulika, though, as he rampages over, excuse me. A follow-up missile from the Mad Bull's backline as Zerich drops down and into the fight, but that is not good news there, as excuse me are just baffled by what just happened.
I want a replay on that. Well, you just became a torpedo. Just send it right into the shelter position, and third party now by Fireflux, which great awareness. This fight, they don't have time to potentially fully heal up, and you can just lock them down in the guts of shelter, and they can't escape. So that would be actually a good play here from Fireflux, but it will be a very long fight. That seems like they're not willing to take, they're not willing to spend that much time taking the fight versus excuse me, because you know that a lot of teams are still trying to get those points of interest. So back on the move they go, entering towards a more central location.
What on earth were Mad Bulls thinking just then? Honestly, pull it together. That was wild. I mean, you're hoping you get like 3 knocks on the entrance, but
I know. They listened to the Teak interview for Falcons, like push, chicken dinner. But unfortunately, push, there's a few extra steps between push, and chicken dinner.
Yeah, no, well, I don't know, man. Because he did just say those things. Like, that's it, by all accounts.
You got to listen to the words of Teak.
It's true. Yeah. Maybe if they'd all done it all at once. They were too staggered.
That's true. Actually, not even as a joke. It is legit a thing that they want. They went 1 by 1. So very easy pickups for excuse me, still like the weirdest breach we've had so far in this PMRC MEA versus EU.
You had a bad time.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't good, but I had fun.
You know what?
Eh?
That's how you really win at PUBG Mobile.
Yeah.
Having fun.
I had a good time. It's about the friends we made along the way.
I mean, I say that, but it's a complete lie. It's all about the points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like points. I can't count them. Next, Riyadh. GK still in that central position. Waiting for the circle to pop. Of course, that road is heavily going to come into play. And okay. Just comes up to Lath, and Lath just gets him down instantly. Okay, Kapahal is sent right back to the lobby at the start of this match.
Nexus were caught out by Vision by Prison last time around, and it seems like they are
it's a trend.
Going to be changing it up this time around either. I think they had a pretty good fight with Vision over towards Prison. It was fairly even. I think there was a third party involved on that one, but this time around Nexus lose a player first. Exo Machina trapped behind a tree.
You don't want to fight that. It's too good an angle. Behind that rock, Lyth has got so much information. They do close the gap. He is pretty much split away from the rest of his team. And now they control the rock. The nade's in hand. Going to get his own nade. On cheeky throw onto Doran could be huge, but they can't peek too far because
there it is.
Mon and Cypher has great angles to defend him. Lyth is so safe. Now they get an extra knock. They should go on the full-on offensive here, John. They need to get all those limbs.
And back up to the rock as well. Exo Machina crossing open ground, spotted by Safe. To be able to get the suppression is so important for the rest of his team to be able to handle Nexus. Octavian hits the deck on a 1-for-1 trade. And Nexus are coming apart again. Exo Machina now the last to stand in the face of them in elimination.
The thing is, I'm seeing Brute Force further north here of this location, John, and we know they love third parties. It is pretty much their speciality when it comes to PUBG Mobile Esports. Are they willing to get involved? Because they're a little bit split. Neos and Prepod are not really in a position to regroup and go for the third party just yet. So I am wondering if that's going to happen. Though, while this fight is happening, Next3 across the road and actually pretty much sharing their position with GK. So they're going to be doing that, once again, symbiotic relationship, helping each other out until the very end of this match.
The fight concludes between Vision and Nexus with one casualty sent out to Vision's side. Nexus playing with none as they are out of it. RTG, they lose someone over towards Milter. They just pop a nade under the vehicle. Bye-bye.
I hope they never fix the car flying to nades.
That's like the opposite of a pneumatic press, that. I don't know what I don't know what that would be, but you just remove the cover. Just get rid of it. I don't know where the vehicle went. We'll see it in the final circle. It will come back down and it will just splat.
The car wins. He gets the chicken dinner.
Oh,
what
dear.
a chat. What a good guy. Though here, more fights going to be, of course, unfolding onto the southern west side. Is going to be Enigma Galaxy, which we're still waiting to see potentially a chicken dinner arise, but oh no, the Gangsters having a bit of a rough time. 2 players instantly knocked out, and they have quite a decent amount of angles, but Enigma Galaxy actually need to try and regroup a bit because we're seeing 2 players from Gangsters actually trying to regroup. It could be hard to take it.
They've got all 4 of their players alive, and all of them very, very healthy. Yusuf up and in for these reses. Ralph needs to put more nades down here. The smokes are coming through, fending off the pressure from Falcons as well on the east side to find these reses. Max is exasperated by these events unfolding, but Coops, he's still in action.
I didn't understand why is Lord and Freak not regrouping. They're just staying inside a farm. When they should get involved. They had 2 initial knocks. That would have been massive. They could have potentially ended the fight by now, but it's still working out because you have Coops on your side, which is definitely a strong player to have on your team. But the fight has yet to reach its ending. As Falcons also, again, slowly leaving away from Milter. They're hearing these shots. They're thinking maybe a third party. There's a few buildings they can play across the road. Maybe they want to try and get himself in a decent position for the late game, but this fight between Enigma Galaxy and Gangsters, I truly believe, John, is taking way, way, way too long. And Gangsters is trying to salvage something, but it is just too hard a position to hold on to.
Enigma Galaxy can't really push too far forwards because of the oversight the Falcons have, but that's been handled now with Coops. They can start to move up to this ridgeline. The Falcons no longer as big of a threat, and the shift is brilliant for this southwest side, Max. They are really going great guns for the position. All 4 of them alive, 5 eliminations. Enigma Galaxy with a real shot here.
You actually have a decent Harry Potter tower to play onto the more eastern edge of the circle. Regnum Kara going to send Wild to scout it. So the entirety of Regnum Kara could be once again repping Turkey, get himself a decent finish in this match. Fireflux also alive on the northern eastern edge. As, excuse me, going to get breached up. Gladiators want a piece of Shelter, but excuse me, are so split all in the inner parts of Shelter itself, so not really ready to take a fight. They're just going to play the long game, I feel like here, John. Not take the fight head on and just try and waste time for Gladiators.
I mean, they're going to have to leave eventually. They're not in the zone. Black, white, spotted, flushed. Gladiators have lost 1 player in the midst of all this, and they are going to have to move further south as well, but where do you go?
I'm not too sure. I mean, the compound north is currently taken, so you have a few buildings, actually, that GK aren't currently looking at, so you could aim for that position. That would be fine. But Enigma Galaxy just saw that fight happening. They saw Falcons get involved, trying to third party versus Gangsters. So they started taking control on the western side, which currently, except for next to Riyadh, no one can really take it away from them. So that passive approach from Enigma Galaxy is massive, though. Gangsters here, they didn't have the players. They need to go aggressive. Send it onto Falcons, and Falcons just not ready, not willing to take this engage.
Brute Force lose 1 on the hillside. Volt charges the toll. Lost 1 now, so down to 3 for Brute Force. They'll roll down this hillside trying to get past everybody, but their attention is drawn out their way. Mon gets the shot, gets the flush. Easily done there. 6 eliminations found for Volt. And they will look, sorry, for Brute Force, Vision even. And they'll be looking for a little bit more as well, as Volt on the inside with Prepod looking to push on in now on the ground floor, but holding the staircase with an auto shotgun. It's a devilish prospect. The fast reload on that shotgun as well, bringing all of the rounds back into the magazine, gives you a little bit of an advantage in a Ooh, closer situation. There's backup here as Mon.
Ooh!
Oh dear.
Great nade
Poor
from
timing
Volt.
on the team. On the team nade, and Volt goes very low. The flush is there for Prepod.
Oh, I think Fireflux are going to try and third-party this. They're seeing Scythe right above from Vision. Vision's going to fully regroup right now, but Fireflux, it's all you go for this fight potentially, or you breach onto Regnum Karya. Because right now they are being pushed away by the blue zone, and they are taking shots towards the compound. They know some fights are unfolding here, but the blue zone's right on top of them. Fireflux need to make a decision right now. The time is not going to be enough for them, unfortunately, to make like a slow rotation. They need to pull the trigger now.
They don't want to go to this position, though. It's not in the zone. They'll have to probably crash onto Regnum. Oh, a beautiful banked nade there for Prepod. With 2 eliminations, we'll carry the torch for the team moving forwards. For Brute Force, RTG, nade ranger Falcons now on the southeast side.
Even more utility thrown their way. RTG, they need to leave this dip. It's just some nade bait. That's one instantly picked up. Kalaga couldn't do anything. Stolen away by Solus with a mini 14 again, John. The weapon of the day for sure.
4 eliminations now for Fireflux, 2 for Solus. Picked up on third-party engagements. Regnum Karya down the hill, the main target that this team is looking for. The smokes to block out the angle from Falcons. Do they swing wide? Probably not with the circle as it sits.
Oh, that's huge onto Wild there. Can't do anything. He's going to have to go for the first aid, so relieving a bit of pressure away from the Fireflux squad.
Oh,
and actually confirms it. What?
A double knock found by Solus with a nade down the hill. How on earth did he get both of them there? They must have crawled away from each other, but now they can start to roll in. This should be easy pickings against this Regnum Karya hold. 1 up, 1 down. They need to handle them 1 at a time. Isolate, conquer, and Tron goes down first. Loxy on the upstairs position with the DBS will be a little bit more of a threat. There is a knock sent back over towards Solus in the meantime, but Loxy not going to be able to get this flush just yet. And the nade into the high ground there. That should seal the deal. Loxy behind the desk. Nice. Not going to be able to hide from that one.
Such a good play, especially because they keep sulking on the high ground, so they have a low angle. They can't peek from those windows anymore, John. Good execution and good timing after they get those 2 opening nade knocks from Solus. Now teams are starting to fall down like flies. RTG is going to be the next one picked up. 17 still up and about, trying to secure themselves the 3rd chicken dinner of the day. Gangsters wrapping around, trying to get involved onto Falcons to secure themselves this building. But Solke still has everything in sight.
The ammo,
just gets all the info.
Ammo, though, not so much. Has to swap out to the UMP to try and get this flush onto Kevin. Will be able to find that. Very low on the ammo. Will need to regroup with his team to try and pick some more up. Gangsters will be eliminated. 5 teams remain, 17 players. Fireflux, Lutz spotted. Eaten by the Mini 14.
That was the breach that's going to potentially secure the game for Fireflux here. They could look for a chicken dinner again. Though the thing is, they might be slow on resources. We did see that their resources weren't looking too good. They were able to loot up, though, a little bit on the fallen team of Regnum Karya, so that's definitely going to help them out. But GK slowly going to start getting involved. Not too sure how many limbs they currently have. They currently have 4. So definitely a slow start, but should be able to take this fight at the end pretty nicely. M6 also with the Mini 14. Gets Ralph looking for Lord 2.
Looking for more?
What?
Wow, wow, wow. This Mini 14 starting to have a real bite in this lobby. With no qualification spots from this tournament, it is just for bragging rights and that prize pool. Players are starting to pull out the tester weapons. They are looking to try and get proficient in a tournament setting with these guns. They're going to be seeing a lot more of them. You got the DP coming back into action. It's good to see some more variety in these backpacks.
This is amazing from Falcons because they're just not second-guessing themselves like we saw in PMWI. They're just fully committing to a play the moment they make that decision. They couldn't do it last game, unfortunately, because the cars were not in working condition, but here that breach south was absolutely amazing. But now the circle's not coming their way. How are they going to fight their way out of that one? I'm not too sure. But Enigma Galaxy having to cross that road, unfortunately, was a good idea to try and hold the west side of the road, but the circle not favorable. Coops, the anchor point lost. Enigma Galaxy might be living their final moments here. And Falcons push their way up to Fireflux.
But who's going to take dominant control of this circle? Because it's not certain just yet. Solke goes down. Falcons on the hunt there. And Fireflux left with 1. Solus on the inside. Mini 14 at that range. Not going to help you, son. And the Falcons are able to take them down. 3 eliminations on the game, but Fireflux have got 14 points this match. That is going to keep them right at the top of those tables, nice and firmly. Enigma Galaxy with 8 elims. They're looking across.
Yeah, they're going to be able to build Fireflux a little bit of a dip in that first and second place position on the rankings, though. Enigma Galaxy crossing over. They do make it to a ridge. They are safe for now. Freak, though. Oh, okay, you're done. See you later. That's not going to happen, Freak, unfortunately.
Runs out of tyres on the buggy and runs out of health in the bar. Will fall down. GK now, the only team with 4.
Yeah, and Satan's angle actually so strong, sending it over to the eastern edge. Could get some extra intel because it is a little bit more elevated than where the rest of GK currently stand in their compound. It's low ground, flat terrain. Enigma trying to play the long game, but they're getting pushed in by the blue zone here, John. I'm not sure who's going to be able to get himself that second place because GK currently are not involved in fights. If they get themselves that split, those off angles in the late game, I feel like we are witnessing the start of a GK chicken dinner.
3 teams have occupied the tower that currently Falcons are in. First, Regnum Kaya. They were swept aside by the Fireflux push. And now Falcons. They have taken up that mantle. It seems to be a little bit cursed, though. I think you might be right with that GK call. Unless something special happens from these off angles.
That could be the case. Oh, nice roof play from Gaith. Actually, almost out of ammo. He had 28 bullets in the clip and 6 extra bullets on top. So they're also slowly out of resources, out of actual ammo itself. It's going to make it a bit rough. Also playing the Scar, which is nice to see. Played a little bit. And 372 bullets. Okay, he's fine. He's not getting out of bullets anytime soon.
I was just about to say, players seem to be starting to optimize more for carrying as many smokes and as much utility as possible in terms of their ammo count, but then we swapped over to that view. It's like, yeah, just like 600 ammo. No problem.
I have yet to find someone who can outsmart bullets.
I mean, it's true. It's very difficult to do anything when you find 3 bullets in your chest.
I think that hurts quite a bit. I won't speak from experience, but definitely not something you want for yourself. Though Marth currently angled in the circle itself. Nice position. I believe he's got a car, so... And also, that crate for Satan is actually great as a transition point. He just looted it up, I feel like.
That is the slowest rollout I've ever seen. Under the watch of 6 as well from Falcons. Doesn't manage to tag any on. GK are just establishing this line. They aren't going bold, they aren't going brash, but they are effective.
This is a fight for second place, John. I mean, we already touched upon it. It's Nigma versus Falcons to see which of these 2 teams gets himself that second place, get themselves these 6 points for this match.
The curse of the tower strikes again as a second Falcon falls. The third, not far behind. Enigma Galaxy up into second place with 2 players alive. It is Lord and Ralph. No Coops to be seen. The MVP from their PMPL season. Can Lord step up? No, he's not. Ralph now, the last player to have a chance. The nade over the top, and it's goodbye to Enigma Galaxy. They stand in the fire. And the GK team will be able to hold it down, slowly choke the life from the lobby. 20 points on the match. A great result for GK.